So I just wanted to pick up here where we kind of left off last week. My stream didn't really work out as far as I could tell, but I kind of did it blind because I'm still learning all this shit. But if you watch my YouTube video, I want to kind of make this a weekly log moving forward. So I didn't get a whole hell of a lot done this week. I had a busy one at work. I did add some new things, so let's go into Game Boy Studio here and take a look at what's new, and then we'll kind of get into the emulator, and I'll kind of talk about what I did. We'll test some things to make sure it's working all right. So first, I mostly just got some sprites done because that's the kind of thing I can do in my downtime at work and whatever. And so I got this new pants sprite done, added that to the shop. So basically the process on that was just copying and pasting this shirt asset, and then taking everything from that actor, changing all the variables, making sure that everything hides the correct actor, which I have a problem with right there. That's a lot of the cleanup. Sometimes you'll make it where if you would have bought those pants, it would hide the shirt instead. So you want to make sure that everything's correct with that. And then I put the price on these at 4 geld, and all of that, added a variable for a pants count, which I'm not really using yet. I don't think those are going to be like food items where I end up using them in multiples necessarily. So what I'll probably end up doing is using that as a way to lock some of our other character costumes. Look at those out over here. There we go. So, like, maybe it'll hide this option unless you've bought the striped shirt, etc. The jeans might unlock, I don't know, a guy in jeans, but so far with the visual language I've kind of established here and the models I've been working with, these guys are veered towards the RPG trope, kind of like being all head. So, not sure what we'll do with the jeans there, but we can always figure that out later. What I will kind of show you here is another character sprite I added this week, and I'll show you kind of a similar process to how I've set up this whole kind of character outfit system and part of my workflow as far as how I with the theme of density, like I kind of talked about last week, with this, that also came down to the workflow of, like, I really spent the first month kind of thinking of all the different things I wanted this game to do, so that the latter part of it is a lot of just duplicating, rebuilding the same things. So, like, you want to build a tile set early, you want to start building a few characters early that you can just modify off of and what have you. So we'll go in and we'll just take this astronaut, copy him, and then we will paste actor, and we'll come up here, and the new guy I made was just called Bald Man so far, and he's probably still going to get tweaked quite a bit. So the first thing we'll do is come in and change the sprite. I like all of these. It kind of overloads it right now, but most of the times I've played it on the emulator, it seems to animate fine, but I really like so far, as much as I need to create like a background screen that's a little more interesting here, I do like having everything kind of marching as you go to select it. It gives the player a nice way to see like what the actual walking animation is going to look like, or what have you. As you can see, there's some kind of stylistic breaks in a few ways I've done things. So I feel like it's all fairly cohesive, but this round of characters I've kind of been building clearly have like a little bit different scaling on the head and arms and what have you. Now comes all the busy stuff when you add something new, which is the more variables you have, or things you have to go and adjust. So first what we need to do is click in the background here. I have a custom event for clothing selection. And essentially I've been adding on to this sequence every time. And there's probably a more elegant way to script this, but I don't know one. So here we go. So what I basically did is set up a variable for clothing selection. And then anytime the player selects one of these outfits, it adjusts that variable accordingly. And it just sets the player's sprite sheet. It's a pretty simple way of getting there, and then I just add one on every time. So we need to basically get to the end and find our next number and sequence here. And they are all under the else function, so it gets very clunky. And so if variable compare with value, I guess I could have just like copied and pasted and edited that, but whatever. We'll just show you how to build it. Ground up here equal to, and our next one is going to be 8. Actor set sprite sheet. Actor set player sprite sheet, rather. And then we will go to Bald Man. And that's it for that part of the script. Now we go back into our room. This first part is just the B back button. Our pause scene script. Yeah, at any rate. Okay, this is the room. Go into our character, so I'm not seeing what I want to here. So we're going to set that to 8. And then it just restores the scene from the stack, sends you back out of the dresser. And so let's do a quick play test on that. Make sure everything's working correctly. This is going to take just a minute to load. There we go. And we've got our new Larry David ass looking dude. While I'm in here, might as well kind of run around, just make sure nothing's too broken. Out in this habit of kind of speedrunning my own game, which can be kind of counterproductive to the playtesting element of things. I had a few bugs with the ghost last week where it was disappearing when I didn't want it to. I think most of those have been cleared up. Really laggy in the grocery store because I'm pretty much at the actor limit for as much as that can handle for this size room. What I could do is put that in one of these larger rooms and just kind of letterbox it and fill in some background space. Essentially just take that Untitled and black out the borders further. Might help everything better. It does come close to like the 5 sprites per line limit, which I thought was part of it for a while, so it might just be good to kind of spread it all out. I think might help. But we'll see. We might. I want to add more shops and things in here. Again, make it like very dense, so a few of those items might move as things develop. Let's see. So before I forget, we need to get back to our character selects here. This part's easy. Just come on down here. And we'll copy this actor, get up to this room, and paste that actor. These I don't need to change anything with. They're just different versions of the same, basically, room, just slightly modified. The only difference is this one has the Carl costume in there. And I did have one more. So, as far as how these items work, to give a little insight there, we're going to do another one of these for another sprite I did this week. And these are going to be, well, it's going to be shoe, because all these I only did like one shoe in the thing, like it would be on like a display at a shop. But I don't know. I might have to do some of these with like 2 shoes in there and see. I'm not particularly set on any of these. One, the sprite I used here as we get into it is there's a few different frames here I tried, and so let's start renaming all our variables. It's a good place to start. So I have like 3 different versions of a shoe on here that we'll get into. I want to avoid any logos. A few of them definitely have 3 stripes on them, so we're going to leave these the same price, so I don't need to adjust any of these variables regarding the money. I do need to change this to a new variable, so it's fine. We got a blank spot up here. And then we'll rename this shoe count. And it will hide the shoes. Take the money out. And then the variable set to true. We're going to need another one here because we're going to have a dictionary entry later for shoes. So name that there we go. Shoe dictionary. And so that's our interactions. It's like a cool looking high top. It doesn't fit the proportions at all on that one, but we'll see. On initiation, that's right, on update if local shoes bought. So using a local variable on all these items saves a lot of overall game variables. That was the thing I figured out very early on. It was eating up a lot of space. With each one, there's probably a few other things I could tie together with local variables. On initiation, we'll just do this. Set actor set animation frame. And we'll go to animation frame. Two. It's like a different one I put in there. So let's test this out. Okay. Whoa. What did I do? So it okay. Okay. Now it's, what the hell did I do? Shouldn't, I thought, whatever. Let's just try it again. Who the fuck is this guy? I don't really want to figure out this entire thing right now. So what we'll do, disable this. And then let's make sure that you can just go through with 4 gold, buy the item, everything's correct. I think I'm going to wrap this up. Giving away all the secrets. There isn't to know where all the cool shit is. So it would be shoes, but it's only one shoe. That's kind of another thing with this being like a language game, and just seeing the RPG ratios are always like mad goofy. Um, as far as like the visual aspect of things, and you're always gonna have items where like, why is a person eating like a food that's insane, an apple the size of their head or whatever, because you're working with like sprite limitations. And I totally welcome that with like the Game Boy and whatever, but this is like the clothes aren't even all proportionate, because I've just kind of been using these big icon boxes like you would for like an inventory, because I'm using them for the dictionary ones. So this could be like a very suitable like dictionary entry photo, but I also, with this being a language learning game, I should really work on this week. I think one of my things is going to be figuring out like a pair of shoes so that it's the accurate plural. Those are also things that, like, when you learn a language are kind of hard to get on, like, everything in here, like, it's not that it's hard to add text in GB Studio by any means. Okay, so our actor disappears. It's doing that correctly. That's correct. We're too broke for those. Okay, cool. So I don't mind the proportions if they're in touch with each other, but I really like having things as accurate as possible. With actually clothing items in particular, you have things like pants. In German, Hose is a single pair of pants. Hosen is multiple pairs of pants. English, we say pants and pants. This creates confusion. And shoes, shoe and shua, I want to make sure the number and the visual add up. Like, who really buys one big mushroom? You usually buy mushrooms, but, like, I want the grammar to be correct on that. It would be lame to put out a game that was all about learning language and then have the grammar be jacked. But that's another thing I'm dealing with right now is editing on that and making sure it's good. So that'll be another level of like play testing I've got to do, is going to have people look over for language accuracy. But anyway, those are the main things I got done this week. Did a little work kind of on stream here, so you get an idea of the process of kind of how I'm duplicating some of those items. Next time, hopefully this week, I really want to get cracking on like dictionary entries. And as you can see, we've got like our shoes, our pants. I haven't done egg yet. I haven't done one for a computer, although I'm trying to avoid cognates because obviously that's less new information if your target is to help people build vocabulary. So I still need to add in a bunch of my food dictionary entries. Need to add the knife. I haven't done the tree one yet. There's a lot of ones regarding like people, or also everything I've done in the dictionary. When you look right now, get up there while I'm talking about it, it's all just kind of basic nouns. So I also, want to use some of these other character interactions to do things like unlock. We've got like an older guy and a younger guy, right? So learning all those boy, girl, man, grandma, grandpa, relative and familial terms, what have you. Actually, just worry about the frame thing later because it's easier, frankly, on that to just fix the sprite. Put a new one in there. So yeah, with the dictionary, I really want to get going on that this week and fill out a lot more of these entries so that I'm somewhat kind of caught up, because there's just a lot of words. Stairs, decommoda for dresser, tepik. I haven't got rug yet, but I don't know what interaction will kind of unlock that. And then there's also just some that I feel like I should have a certain kind of base amount for that first PC interaction. So I might use some home items, kind of anything that's free in that room, like carpets, the table, um, to kind of start off. That way I can eliminate some of the things, walls, windows, that you don't necessarily interact with, but like, windows are cool opportunities for like cutscenes to do like similar to this. Um, yeah, like I was playing like what's that? Operation Logic Bomb on Super NES last night, and like that does this cool thing if you've ever played it, where you'll go up to these computers throughout it when you've kind of cleared an area, and they'll maybe show you a cutscene or give you an item. But the little cutscenes kind of build this really obscure story with no text, so not the same thing, but something to kind of take inspiration from. So yeah, I'll see you guys next week. And yeah, that's it for now.